Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Nasir Sheikh Show. I'm your guest host, Dr. Nasir, and what's on tap for today? Well, it's our continuing series of the debates that were done by Vice. It's part 5, and they brought gun owners from all backgrounds, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, moderates, whatever, asked them questions on Second Amendment, gun laws, why they like guns, why don't they like guns, red flag laws, all kinds of stuff. We're going to get into that, folks, in the next few seconds. But before we do, if you haven't done so, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Let us know in your comments below what you think. Let's get now to part 5 of those debates. We're going to do that right now.
How do I defend myself and my children against two guys who have AR-15s? Tell me how. And you said yourself that the police may not make it there in time. Tell me how.
You know what? The best chance you got in a situation like that is to get out the house.
She just stated that they reach
30
far.
rounds apiece? That's 90 rounds of bullets firing through the home.
You think I can outrun that?
You need to get out of the house.
Oh, sir, I stand my ground. Sorry.
Thank you all for coming today. My name is Keegan Hamilton. I'm systemic racism, and then it leads to black and brown people being criminalized. And I'm curious, when it comes to passing more gun laws, how do you think we could avoid that in going forward?
I really think we have to think about what is the goal. Are we trying to save lives or solve crimes? And if we're trying to save lives, then we can't just keep putting it on the backs of the criminal legal system. We can't incarcerate our way out of this situation. If that was the case, Louisiana would be the safest city in the country. But it's not. It's one of the most deadliest. So you have the highest level of incarceration and the highest level of gun violence in one state. This is something where we have to think about legislation and laws that provide more resources for the communities that are most vulnerable and at risk to violence.
I'm curious to talk to folks and see, do you support restrictions on specific types of guns like the AR-15, for example? If so, why or why not?
You know why the AR-15 is popular is because it's affordable. You can customize it to whatever you need to do, whether it's self-defense, hunting, target shooting.
I think what you just said, though, is part of the problem, too, because the AR-15 is really like, it has a marketing appeal. And America does marketing really well. And people respond very well to marketing, especially if you're selling them something they already want. So it's very convenient. The pedestal kind of grew up under it. But now that it's there, it's very hard to take that back.
Who are you trying to defend yourself from with an AR-15?
I can
a
answer
zombie
that.
apocalypse?
Anyone.
Someone else with an AR-15.
The logic.
No, the thing is, as a responsible gun owner, a person who owns several rifles, our president is protected with rifles, AR-15 style rifles. Our law enforcement officers use, carry, and have AR-15 platform rifles. So if I'm defending myself against, a lot of the 2A people will say my government, I have to have equal or greater access to the tools that they have as well. Is the president's life more important than mine? If you don't like them, that's great. Don't buy them.
That's not how it works, though. You don't need to get hit with one bullet to die. Just because someone has an AR doesn't mean I got one. We're equal or on the same playing field.
Have you shot them, though?
I don't want to shoot AR.
The guy just said, just because somebody else has an AR-15, I've got an AR-15, we're not on the same level playing field. Again, leftist talking points, they don't know anything as to what they're talking about. They're just basically throwing this crap out there, hoping that it sticks on the wall and that somebody goes, wow, that was really a brilliant response there, bruh. That was so brilliant. That was so brilliant. Somebody else has an AR-15. I've got an AR-15, but we're not on an equal playing field. Unbelievable chutzpah that these people have.
AR-15. I'm not fighting
the reason
zombies.
why I asked, is because when you actually shoot rifles, when you have experience handling rifles versus handguns, AR-15 platform rifles versus handguns, you understand that there is a disparity of force there. I'm not bringing a handgun to a rifle fight. I'm not.
I think if someone in the Tops grocery store in Buffalo had an AR-15, that would have not saved lives. If anything, it would have harmed more people.
I think if the security guard who defended himself using a handgun against the person who had an AR-15, he had a rifle.
No, they asked the police chief of Buffalo after the shooting, if you were armed with those types of weapons, would you have been a better responder? He said no.
That police chief was a retarded, idiotic moron then, or what I call SIMMER. I forgot. The SIMMER is an acronym I coined, SIMR, stupid, idiotic, moronic, retarded. If that police chief in Buffalo said that, and I have no doubt that he probably did, he's probably a leftist. Hey, he's a stupid, idiotic, moronic retard to say that if the guard was armed with an AR-15, that he wouldn't have been able to take out another guy that was there with an AR-15, that, you know what, that chief of police, he needs to be booted out of office, okay? They need to vote him out fast, and don't let the door can't hit him on his back end, quick enough, folks.
No. He said the only reason that slaughter stopped is because the shooter stopped. Not because they had the right tools.
By security who had a handgun, who took a shot at the chest, and there are armor-piercing rounds, there are types of ammunition for AR-15s that would have ended that threat that moment. But unfortunately, because he had just a handgun, the shooter was forced to slow down, stop, gather himself, but then he continued to take other people's lives.
What you're describing in a way sounds like an arms race, where if someone else has an AR-15, therefore I need an AR-15.
Absolutely.
And that the end game is that everyone has an AR-15, right?
The AR-15's been around for what, 40, 50, I think it's almost 60 years old now to civilians. Like Greg has shot hunting rifles. Pretty much every hunting rifle is more powerful than AR-15. The AR-15 is the bare minimum that the US government found out to be lethal to a human being. Just because it has 30 rounds doesn't mean you need to shoot 30 rounds at a person.
And so why the specific feeling towards AR-15 and not a handgun with a 30-round magazine, which do exist?
I have the same sentiments for that
So you
too.
feel equally about both?
Yeah, I think we are in a world where we're creating these weapons that are literally built for mass fatalities, and we're encouraging that.
We're encouraging responsible gun owners to use the firearm.
We're encouraging that. That idiot again. We're encouraging that. Mass murdering. We're encouraging mass murdering. Before, it was all about how we should just, that he himself, grown up tradition, learned how to use a gun properly, gun safety laws, did all the training, everything in there. But now he's basically doing the left-wing talking, was turning right around, because what I say, social justice warriors, woke elitists, virtue signaling, they love their guns, but they have to come up with ways to basically, just talk enough about, just give enough of a sampling, enough of an inkling that you're sort of against it, but then that they're really for it. But you don't want to say that because you're ashamed that you own a gun, that you love the Second Amendment. So you got to come up with ways so you can stay with the party, you can stay with the people that you're with, bruh. That's the only reason that you're doing it for. I mean, come on now.
To defend themselves,
for mass
absolutely.
fatality purposes.
To defend myself, yes. If a single woman who lives at home and 30 intruders come in, God
30
forbid.
intruders.
Okay, say two. Right, intruders come in with my handgun, my semi-automatic handgun, using my firearm to defend myself. A rifle would be better. It would have a better advantage. I have a longer maximum effective range as far as defending my life. I don't have to be at a close distance. There are so many other advantages to using a AR-15 platform rifle for self-defense than people realize.
But the culture that y'all are buying into or encouraging is the same culture that armed the shooter at Tops. It's the same sentiment that armed the shooter in Atlanta.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's the same sentiment that, we should have these guns. So what's the difference between that shooter
One's a
and
criminal,
just someone
one's
else?
not. We're good people.
I feel like you're really putting words in our mouth because
Yeah.
we haven't told anyone to go out and buy an AR-15.
I want to jump in because I don't think it's necessarily about telling someone to do it. It's about the availability and the access to that weapon.
which
Okay,
are part of
so-
the marketing.
I have a question. If we get rid of AR-15s for law-abiding citizens, how do we defend ourselves when those two guys, and don't say that's not probable because 2 guys is more probable than 30 guys to kick in your door. How do I defend myself and my children against those 2 guys who have AR-15s? Tell me how. And you said yourself that the police may not make it there in time. Tell me
You know
how
what? The
tell
best
me how I
chance you
defend myself.
got in a situation like that is to get out the house.
And
if you're
go
going to have a
where?
shootout with 2 people with AR-15s and your children at home,
She just stated that
so
they
what is that,
reach
30
far.
rounds a piece? That's 90 rounds of bullets firing
you
through the
think
home.
I can
with your-
outrun that?
You need to get out of the house.
Let's go back to the man with the git. Let's go man with the git. All right. He just basically said, listen, girl, he was mansplained her. You need to get out of the house, okay? You get out of the house. Here's what I'm saying. You're in an apartment building 5, 6, 7, 10 stories up, even 2, 3 stories up. All right? Your only way of egress is through a window and jumping out, 20, 30 feet. All right, could get killed, could break some things or whatever. Maybe you got kids with you. What are you going to do? Only other way is to get out of the house is to the front door that those guys came in, right, with the AR-15s. What are you going to do? How are you going to get out of the house? How are you going to get out of the house? I'll tell you what, buddy. The only way that if you're not armed properly and you can't defend yourself properly, the only way that you're going to get out of the house or get out of the house is in a body bag. You're going to either they're going to get you into a bag or they're going to get you into a bag. All right? Get. Gotta get out of the house. Let's see that if we can rewind and watch that thing again.
Because 2 guys is more probable than 30 guys to kick in your door. How do I defend myself and my children against those 2 guys who have AR-15s? Tell me how. And you said yourself that the police may not make it there in time. Tell me
You
how
know what? The
tell
best
me how I
chance you
defend myself.
got in a situation like that is to get out the house.
And
if you're
go
going to have a
where?
shootout with 2 people with AR-15s and your children at home,
She just stated that
so
they
is that
reach
30
far.
rounds apiece? That's 90 rounds of bullets firing
you
through the
think
home.
I can
with your-
outrun that?
You need to get out of the house.
Oh, sir, I
Get
stand my
out.
ground. Sorry.
You got a better chance of jumping out that window than
no one
being
have-
having
No
a
way.
shootout
No
with 2
way.
AR-15s.
I do not have a better chance.
Does no
Come
one
on,
have
y'all. That's like
neighbors?
move.
Like, aren't we concerned about neighbors?
Let's talk about
This girl, don't we have neighbors? You think neighbors are gonna? There's a gunfight going on in your apartment. You think the neighbors are gonna go? And maybe some of the neighbors have an AR-15, so they get out of their house, they get out of their apartment, they get out of their apartment to come over to help you get out of your apartment, help you to find a way out. Don't we have Oh, I forgot. Remember, it's a community. Somebody's doing it, it's our fault. We weren't even involved, but it's a community. But the people that have nothing to do with it, it's all our fault because it's a big community. We're responsible for everybody else.
real life, all right? The average person is not walking around, and the arrest of firearms are not with AK-47s. Let's get that right. All right, so we have this whole panel thing. That's almost like a make-believe world, because people do own them, but people aren't getting locked up with them. The average person getting locked up is with a disguised gun, a painted gun. You'll have a magazine clip that's extended, modifications. That's what's happening on a daily basis. People are getting their hands on illegal firearms that are disguised or defaced and using them against one another. That's what's happening in the real world. The average person isn't walking around out of their house with an AK-47.
From what I've heard so far, the two main sort of points I'm hearing is that more guns can make you safer, from one mentality, and another is that mental health is really the solution.
Anyways, let's just end it right there. I mean, again, the verbal gymnastics that these people have to go through. And then they're arguing amongst themselves. So you saw the people that were basically on the left. Okay, the wokesters, the social justice warriors, the virtue signalers. You know, yeah, they love their guns, but again, they're fighting amongst themselves in terms of nuances or whatever. One person saying they want their AR-15s, the other one saying, why do you need your AR-15s? But on the other hand, he's perfectly fine having a rifle and a handgun, but then why not this gun? So basically, when we tell people we want our guns, someone else said, no, you can't have them. He's basically telling the people on the left, the people that they're fighting with, the same thing. You can't have it. Well, it's either a Second Amendment full 100% or it's Second Amendment nothing. You can't have anything in between. Now, they can modify along the lines a little bit, and they have done that, but they keep chipping away at our Second Amendment rights. Slowly but surely keep chipping away. And that's what everybody's afraid of, is that eventually, if you allow these people an inch, they don't want the mile, folks. They want the whole enchilada. They want everything. They want the Second Amendment to be stricken completely out there. That's what they want. And then these people, a lot of them on the left, they are also virtue signaling because they want to be liked by those people, but they're have guilt because they want to keep their guns as well. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Let us know in your comments below. What do you think? Whose side did you stand on? Second Amendment side? The wokester side, social justice warriors, virtue signaling side. Let us know, and I'll let you know my final thought, which is, When you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. I'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.